We're live, baby. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everybody is doing well today. I am in Miami, Florida right now. And it's a great day to talk about the election. So let me find, I'm going to introduce to you the incredible Jess Morales Roqueto, who is a nationally recognized political strategist and community organizer. She was just honored on the Time 100 Next, which is a list of people who are reshaping the future, and she is incredible. I'm going to learn, we're all going to learn about the election and Joe Biden, and especially, his role in the Latino community. And you know what? I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to bring her on, and then we're going to do this again. Okay, so let me try and find her. Be patient with my not super technologically savvy ass. Okay. I sent you a request. So I hope that you can see. Yay! It worked! It worked! Oh my God, that is the smoothest it has ever gone for me. This is time.
That is like the moment of truth. Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, either this is going to be an awkward 5 minutes or it's good. Hey, how are you, Jess?
I am so good. How are you?
What?
I don't know why.
Oh, it's paused? No, we're good.
No, it's paused.
Maybe that's probably your phone.
No, I'm asking everybody. It's paused.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I guess it is the awkward 5 minutes of technological problems, but
There we
all
go.
right, Jess. So, Jess,
Yes.
there are 5 days until this election is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's a critical time. This is the election of our lives. I am a registered voter in Florida, and I voted by mail. I dropped off my ballot. By the way, if you are voting by mail, you need to drop off your ballot in a drop box or a polling place in person, because it's too late now to vote by mail. But yeah, I dropped off my ballot, and I'm proud to have voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
That's amazing. Wait, so you're done. You're like got it done early. You dropped it off. It's in. It's all good.
It's in. It's all good.
That's great.
Voting is so exciting, isn't it? You're
Yes.
just, hey, like I'm in this country. I contributed to it. Like it's like,
Yeah.
it's an empowering thing to do. But
I think if you have voted that many times, or if you're voting for the first time, or if you don't vote that often, like it can feel like, does this really matter? And like, what's gonna happen? And like, actually, usually it's pretty easy. It's really safe, even during COVID times, to go vote in person. If you have a mask on, if you stay socially distanced, like it's all good. And I compare it to exercise, Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then afterwards, you feel so good. You feel great.
100%. You're like, I'm so glad I did this, because it's good for you. I feel like, this year there are so many important things on that, that are critical. There's healthcare, there's immigration, there's climate change. Mm-hmm. And I feel like politics, like I know for me, like I'm excited to have this conversation with you too, because I feel like I'm just excited to be like asking you questions, and you be, giving me information and giving everybody that's watching just access to information that, maybe we didn't already know, because there's so much information available right now, and politics is so important, but it can also, I think for a lot of people, it can feel really overwhelming. But I just wanted to ask you, and on behalf of everybody watching, especially for the people that are watching that are part of the Latino community, which it's crazy, like the statistics that I've read on like our influence in this election. Like we are the second biggest voting bloc in the United States, which means like we could literally choose the president. That's how That's how many of us there are in this country.
Absolutely. In fact, actually, this is the first time in our country's history that that's ever been the case. We've never,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the very first time that Latinos have been able potentially to be the second largest voting bloc. You're exactly right. Like, we will decide who is the president, which is just like, oh my gosh. Like, when my grandfather came here,
Yeah.
he could have imagined that that would be the case. And like, here we are in 2 generations. So that's like really exciting. It makes me so excited. It makes me feel really powerful. I hope it makes like our whole community feel powerful, because
100%.
when we go out, it's going to be, you know, our votes are going to count like they never have. And you're in Florida. And so like, especially to the folks in Florida, like that is where the race is really tight between Joe Biden and between President Trump. And so like, the Latinas going out to vote in Florida is going to like put us over the top.
Exactly.
And you like, actually, Joe Biden cannot win this election without winning Florida. So like, Latinas in Florida are the reason Joe Biden is going to get elected. Like,
That is, wow, I did not know that. That's powerful.
It really, really is. And, you know, I do think that like, you know, when I talk to my parents, my sisters, my cousin, you know, sometimes people say exactly what you said, Camila, which is like, I feel a little overwhelmed. There's so much information. I don't know if I know everything. And what I really want people to know is that you don't need a PhD to vote. You don't need a degree to vote. You don't need a high school diploma to vote even. Like,
No.
You have everything you need inside of you to vote. You know what you care about.
Exactly what vision you're aligned with, what resonates with you. And that said, that's a perfect segue into my first question. What do we need to know about Biden, especially the Latin community? What do we need to know about him?
Absolutely. So I think, you know, to me, the choice is so clear between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Joe Biden has made absolutely clear that he will prioritize Latinos in his administration. And one of the things I'm really proud about, I know it's something that matters a lot to you, is he has a really good plan for mental health for Latinos in particular.
That's amazing.
And that matters a lot. He is making it so that if you are the survivor of gun violence in your schools,
Wow.
Trauma from that, you have to be covered with mental health services.
Oh, that is incredible. See, I actually did not know that.
I mean, I think that is like a really significant thing. He is going to boost teachers' pay to make sure that teachers can help support their students in mental health more and know how to deal with that. And he's also going to really make sure that we fund programs that help all of us have better mental health, like the arts and wellness. Yes, it is really, really awesome.
Wow.
So things. And I think, like, you know, mental health is not always talked about in our community. And the fact that there's a president who is saying, I'm going to prioritize this in my administration.
Like moving us forward.
Yes, yes. And after the last 4 years, we need to move forward. Like, we need to leave all that behind.
Absolutely.
Make a vision for the future that's like actually what we want and what we need, which is really important.
Totally, totally. And a vision that is inclusive and sees all of us.
Absolutely. Other big thing, I don't know about you, but growing up, my parents were like, the most important thing you can do is get an education, get an education, get an education, get an education. And so he is really focused around education. So
yeah.
Tell your abuela, right? Like,
yes.
He really makes sure that college is affordable and that all of us have the opportunity to get the education if we need. I have so much student loan debt between me and my sister, so that matters a lot to me. Like, I don't want it to be, you know, prohibitive. We're so lucky that my parents sacrificed everything for us all to go to college, but it shouldn't be like that. Everyone should be able to go and not go into debt for the rest of their lives if they want to get an education. I
remember the level of kind of stress and anxiety there was around me, like even when I was in elementary school. Like, when we came to this country, I came here when I was 6, 7 years old, and my mom was always like,
wow.
yeah. My mom was like, we can't pay for college, so you gotta be, you know, you gotta be
together.
Because otherwise, I don't know how you know. Yep. So that's really that's incredible. And what can you tell us about, you know, healthcare and climate change? I mean, there's just so many different What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. So climate change, one of the things that he's already committed to do on day one, which is so important, is come back to the Climate Paris Agreement, which is just like a really fancy way of saying that he's going to put the United States back with all the people who believe in climate science and
Right.
want to ensure that we can stop the burning of our planet. And
our jobs in the process for everybody.
Yes, create a ton of jobs, which is really important because as we think about like how are we going to advance in the not just in the next 4 years but beyond that, it really goes into getting green jobs. You know, he doesn't support the Green New Deal yet, so we got to push him on that. That's really important, but he is going to make sure that the United States is again a leader in ending climate change, which President Trump has completely erased.
Right.
And on healthcare, I mean, that's my most important issue. I think it's most people's most important issue.
Yeah.
Especially in a pandemic, right? Like, how are we going to be safe from COVID if we can't have healthcare? And one of the most important things Joe Biden is doing is introducing the public option in healthcare. So what that means is everyone will be able to get affordable healthcare, and make sure that, and this is a big step forward, that's even better than Obamacare, cheaper than Obamacare. So this matters like a lot. You know, people don't actually know this, but if Joe Biden is elected president, he would be the most progressive president that we've ever had in our country's history, which I think is a really, you know, I don't think people realize that. Like, that doesn't often come up. And I agree with him on everything, and I bet there's a ton of people that you follow that don't agree with him on everything either, but he's absolutely the most progressive person in this race, will be a very progressive president, and we can push him on the issues that we really want, like free college, like, you know, the Green New Deal and other stuff like that. And that's like actually what I think is most important.
Right. Totally. I was just gonna, I was thinking of when I watched the debate that he said something that I loved when he was talking about healthcare. He was like, healthcare for everybody is a right, not a privilege.
Yes.
And I said that because it's crazy that we're living in this country, like, you know, one of the most economically successful countries in the world, and not everybody can get healthcare. It's crazy.
I saw a tweet yesterday where a family got COVID and they had to go to the hospital, and their medical bills were $1 million after the fact. Like, that should never, ever.
Absolutely, it's impossible, and it literally it changes people's lives for the worse. It's like,
also that they can just stay healthy, you know, like, it's just being healthy is something that all of us should have access to. And I think in particular right now, when we know that the Latino community has been totally attacked by COVID, we have one of the highest rates of COVID of anyone. So do our, you know, the Black and Latino communities. So for all Latinos, that means that we're at higher risk. And so we need a president who is going to keep us safe and who is going to make sure that if we get COVID, first of all, get us out of this COVID crisis so we can leave our house. Like, I need to leave my house.
It's old. It's got to stop.
Just full stop. I need to leave my house. So vote for Joe Biden if you want to leave your house. And like, really. And if you get COVID, if for whatever reason you get COVID, how are you able to actually like afford to get healthy and safe and keep your family healthy and safe? Joe Biden is the president that's going to do that.
Absolutely. Okay, I have another question for you. I wrote some down.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So many people are experiencing financial hardships right now. How will Biden help our economy and all the workers and small business owners who need support?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important question because when Joe Biden was vice president in the Obama and Biden administration, he, like, you know, they left with the best economy that we've had. And that, you know, sometimes I think we talk about the economy, like, what does that mean? That means people having jobs, people being able to pay their bills, right? People being able to save. And Donald Trump has put the economy in the dirt. We are at the highest unemployment rate that we've ever had in our country's history.
Wow.
Is a huge problem, and it's because he has completely mismanaged COVID and made millions of people lose their jobs when they didn't need to. If he had just taken this seriously and made sure that we did what we needed to, what other countries all around the world did,
exactly,
and open. So Joe Biden is going to make sure that we get the economy back, that everyone gets their jobs back, and that people get relief. You know, so many families, and especially in the Latino community, have not had any relief. They didn't get the checks from the government when they came earlier this year. And that's totally unacceptable. He's really committed to make sure that people get economic relief immediately and that we get those jobs back, because we're going to get COVID under control and then put people back to work.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really believe that Joe is for the people of this country. Like, I really feel like he is genuinely trying to help every single person, you know?
Yeah. When you said for the people, it reminded me of Kamala Harris. I mean, that was like her campaign slogan. She has made clear that she's for the people. And
they're trying to serve.
Yes. Oh my God. That's such a great way of saying it. Yes. They really want to serve the American people. And that's what you want in a president, you know?
Of course. That's what they should be there for.
That is what
to be our voice, to be everybody's voice.
That's right.
And to care.
Right? So once we elect them, and especially if young people elect them, we're seeing young people vote at rates they have never voted at before. More young people are voting this election than ever before.
Well, what was this crazy stat that I read? Younger Latinas make up the largest cohort in key states.
That's right. Yeah. So believe it or not, in states like Texas, in states like Arizona, Florida, young Latinas, so that's like 18 to 24-year-olds, high school, college age, just starting your career. Those are like the absolutely most important voting bloc. They are the ones, if those Latinas turn out and they vote for Joe Biden, he will win the presidency.
We already knew we were powerful, but goddamn.
Okay? Like, it does. I mean, I get so excited because
me too.
It's just like, that is so amazing. We could pick a president. And then when we pick a president, we will tell them we care about climate change. We care about free college. We care about getting back to work. We care about taking care of our families. Like,
we care about uniting the country and making sure everybody, no matter what race, sexual orientation, whatever, like, you are seen and your needs are heard. And that's what I feel like I get from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that they're really seeing everybody.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said the LGBT stuff, like who you love, because Joe Biden has actually been a leader on LGBTQ issues. He was one of the first people in the Obama-Biden administration to speak out against Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which kept gay people from being in the military, like LGBTQ people from being in the military. And that was a really big deal at the time. I think it's like almost hard to believe now because, love is love and everyone believes that.
We've moved forward so much, yeah.
Yeah, we really have in a really short amount of time. But he was really one of the people who, at a super high level, helped make that happen. The other thing that I think is really important to know about him is he is actually the founder of a bill called the Violence Against Women Act. And that bill is one of the reasons that people have protection, and especially women have protection against domestic violence. He's really worked his whole career to make sure that women and anyone who are in abusive situations, who are in danger because of someone who's supposed to love them, are able to get safe and get out of that relationship and be supported. And I think both of those things really speak to who he is. He's a man of real character. And we need a man of real character after the corrupt terribleness, evilness of Donald Trump and everyone associated with him.
Absolutely. I mean, I think character is the most important aspect of a leader, because if you don't align with somebody's values and their empathy for people and them caring about people, how can they lead? It's like, character is the most important thing. And I think that's why I believe in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's vision so much. I can really feel their goodness and their intention to serve and their intention to help absolutely everybody in this country to move forward. Okay, we're going to wrap up soon, so I want to do my last question.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So if you could talk to people who aren't voting, what would you tell them? And what about people who aren't sure who they should vote for?
Yeah, I worked for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and I come from a really Republican family. My mom especially, super Catholic, super Republican. So she's never voted for a Democrat in her life. And I spent 1 year convincing her to vote for a Democrat. And this is what I told her. So this is what I'm going to tell all of you. When you go to cast your ballot, it's going to say whoever's name. It's going to say Joe Biden, but it might say who's ever running for president or running for school board or a city council or mayor. And it's going to feel like you're voting for them. But actually, honestly, their name doesn't matter. I want you to vote for Joe Biden, but actually I want you to vote for yourself. I want us to vote for our families. I want us to vote for the policies that we care about. And so when you fill out that little bubble or you press the little button on the machine, you're putting your name on the ballot. You're raising your voice and you're saying, I care about my family and myself. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we get the future that we want. And so, you know, as you go to drop off your ballot this week, as you go to vote on November 3rd, make sure that you are voting for yourself and the things that you care about. That's all you got to do.
And you know what? I just want to add to that. I feel like in our experience as human beings, there's so much that we can't control. So much is out of our hands.
Yes.
Our ability to vote for what we care about is something we can control. And it's like, if there's anything that I've learned in life, it's like the things you can control, you got to just, you know, grab at them and hug them tight, because there's most of the things in this life are not in our control. And I feel like it's so much more than even when you were saying about, you know, it's so much more than even just like than parties and names and Democrat and Republican. I feel like for me, it's really about character and vision and like, and values and what leader you see that represents the type of values you have. I feel like that's the most important thing. Like it's, you know, it's.
Gosh, yes. I mean, a word this morning. Absolutely.
Good morning, everybody.
Say it, girl.
Yes, you are so awesome. It's been so amazing talking to you. You're so inspiring. And thank you so much, because I feel like I learned so much from my conversation with you. And I know everybody watching here learned too. So thank you so, so much. And
oh, thank you so much. Everybody vote. Cross your fingers.
yeah, everybody vote. Oh, wait, I'm missing something. Sorry, I wrote them down. Yes, your vote is so important. If you haven't voted already, vote early, vote today. Go to iwillvote.com for more information on how to vote in your state. If you already voted, call your family, call your friends, make sure they voted too. You can go to joebiden.com to volunteer or donate to help make Joe Biden the next president. Guys, the future is ours. Don't let anybody take it away from you. This is ours. Use your voice. Use your power. The power is in the vote. Woo! Let's go. And happy Halloween.
Let's go.
All right. Bye, Jess.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. You're amazing.